أجمعين على من تبع هداهم إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد, today is the 5th of Jumada al-Akhirah, the year 1440. We still in the chapter of the Nikah, marriage, and we are at the moment reaching the point where the author says the obligation of making a walima. So the author says that it is a must before you make the intercourse to make the walima. For verily, when Ali radiallahu anhu had got married to Fatima, Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّهُ لَا بُدَّ لِلْعُرْسِ مِنْ وَلِيمَةٍ. Verily, the marriage has to have a walima. Walima means food. And this food, the sunnah in it, the following. Number one is to be 3 days, but it's not a must. That's the sunnah. So after intercourse, there will be 3 days. And the second one is that when you call the people to come, you call the righteous, whether they are rich or poor. Already the Prophet of Allah said, do not accompany except for a believer. Do not let anyone to eat your food except for a pious. Always accompany a believer, and always the person who eats your food is a pious. But it doesn't mean that it has all the time has to be the person who's a believer eats with the Prophet of Allah had eaten. But he was invited by a Jewish. He had eaten in a Jewish house from a Jewish as well food, and he had eaten the meat. And he never said, is this meat halal or not? Because of the people of the book. And number 3, that is the sunnah, is to make it shah, meaning that is a sheep, meat. And unfortunately these days, this is being swapped with ghettos, cheesecakes, and all of that, which is not correct. It's not in Muslim walima. Muslim walima is to be with meat. You cook meat, lamb. So the Prophet ﷺ, he had made a walima on Zainab and the shah. It's a sunnah, not a must, but I'm just saying, these days the people, they just put some nuts and some crisps and all of that, and they said, khalas, go ahead. It's not the walima, food. And the people tend to come to the food more than they come to the crisps, the nuts. But no problem, if you didn't have the money to bring food, the meat, to bring anything to do with bread, dates, anything that is available. For the Prophet of Allah, when he had married to Safiya bint Huyay radiallahu anha, he called the Muslims to his walima, and there was no bread, no meat. So what he had asked for, he asked for sheep to be spread on the ground, and people started putting dates, cheese, ghee, all of that. And the walima is not supposed to be specified to the rich and the poor to be exempted from it. And that's a very bad walima. Prophet of Allah said, sharru ta'am, the worst of food. The worst of food is the food of a walima, whom the ones being prevented to come to it, the one who's supposed to come to it, are poor. And the ones who are called to it are the ones who are refusing to come to it because they're rich. So the ones being called to it are the ones who refuse because they're rich. And the ones who are being prevented to come to it, the ones who want to come to it, are not the poor. And on top of that, the hadith says, he who does not respond to the walima invitation, then he had disobeyed Allah. So if any person invited you for normal food, it's very highly recommended to come to the food. But if it's for walima food, you have to come. Why? Because walima food is a food that comes once in a in a long time. For example, the person, he would be affected so much, and relations would be broken just because he did not turn up to your walima. And he would say, well, when's he gonna get his son or daughter married, I'm not going to come to his walima because he did not come to my walima. So bring the grudge and the hatred between the people. And that's why it is a must upon you to fulfill the invitation of the walima. And even if he was to be fasting, he has to come to the walima. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, if one of you is being called to the ta'am, to the food, let him come. If he was not fasting, then let him eat. And if he was fasting, then if it is a voluntary fast, very highly recommended to break it. But if it's compulsory fast, then, for example, as a vow that you made, or you compensated for a missed day in Ramadan, then make dua. Make dua. So the person is to fulfill the invitation for the walima as long as this walima is not accompanied with something haram. Meaning, if this walima, for example, is accompanied by music or disaster mixing, or there are things which will go against the Sharia from the, for example, backbiting and all of that. People who are there, they're not people who are doing, except for haram things, smoking cigarettes and all of that, you don't have to come. Not only that, you should not come. Unless you want to come to deny unto those people. What are you doing? You're drinking alcohol? Haram. You are putting music? It's haram. If you do that, alhamdulillah. Ali, radiallahu anhu, he said, I made food. Called the Prophet ﷺ. And he saw in the house images. Tasawir. So the Prophet ﷺ went back. So he said, Messenger of Allah, what made you to go back? I sacrificed my father and my mother for you. He said, verily in the house there is sitr, meaning like something to cover something, where it's got images in it. And verily the angels do not enter a house which is where the images are. And this is how the Salaf used to do. The predecessors from the pious ones. Abu Mas'ud, for example, his name is Uqba ibn Amr. So the man made food for him. So he called him. So he said, is there any images, pictures in the house? The ones he hang on the walls and all of that. He said, yes. He said, I will not come in until you break that picture. So he did. And then he entered. Abdullah ibn Umar, he called Abu Ayyub al-Ansari, both companions. Abu Ayyub, he saw in the house as images on the wall. So Ibn Umar, he said, just kind of alibi. He says, verily, we were not being able to stop the women. غَلَبَنَا عَلَيْهِ النِّسَاء. That means the women, they had imposed this upon us, those images on the wall. So he said, well, who wants to be, I've never sort of feared upon him that if I want to fear upon anybody to do such a thing, I will not fear upon you. For verily, I will not eat any food that you give. And he went back. So I mean, Abdullah ibn Umar, you're the last one to be expected to do such a thing. To have an excuse like this. Right, when the person is called to the ta'am, to the food, he's supposed to do the following as a recommendation. Number one, to make dua after he finishes the food to the people who are invited him. So, Allahumma fir lahum warhamhum wa barik lahum fima razaqtahum, or Allahumma at'im at'amana wasqi man saqana, meaning, O Lord, forgive for them, have mercy upon them, have barakah upon them, and put barakah in what you have provided them. That's one of the du'as. Second one, O Allah, give food to the one who gave us food. O Allah, give drink to the one who gave us a drink. Another dua, أكل طعامكم الأبرار وصلت عليكم الماء ملائكة وأفطر عندكم الصائمون. May the righteous people eat your food, and may the angels have prayers upon you, and may the ones who are fasting integrate their fasts onto your food. The second thing which is recommended for the person who comes to the walima is to make dua to the groom and the bride with khayr and barakah, just like you have done when you have given the dua to them when they got married. So you say to them, bil barakah, bil khayr, Allahumma ajma' baynakuma fi khayr, barakallahu lakuma, baraka alaykuma, wa jama' baynakuma fi khayr. All of that are to be from the good thing that you should be doing when you are invited to the walim. Now, it is allowed to let the woman in the marriage to declare this marriage by striking the duf. Duf is mean the tambourine. And the tambourine is only allowed, nothing else, no musical instruments except for that. And it's allowed for them as well to make singing between each other. Singing, which is only with, and it's not words or not words including haram things. Some of the songs are haram. And some of the songs they have, in them fitna. So the Prophet said, "A'linu al-nikah." A'linu al-nikah means propagate openly the marriage, make it like open for everybody. And the Prophet said, "Faslun ma bayna al-halal al-haram." The mark between halal and haram, ad-duf. والصوت في النكاح. So this is to make the haram, which is in fornication, to halal marriage. You make to duf. People want to listen to that. Can I just ask you to stop here? The problem is with this, it takes the oxygen, and leaves us with carbon dioxide to die. Jazakallah khair.
You leave that one?
No, turn it off all of it. Because you can't breathe, man. It's not healthy, you know it.
No.
Right, Khalid ibn Dhakwani says, Abu Bayy ibn Muawwidh ibn Afra, he said, the Prophet ﷺ, he came when I got married, and he sat on my bed, and some of the slave girls, or little ones, the ones who tried the duf, they started talking about who being killed in the Battle of Badr. One of those girls had said, "And amongst us a prophet who knows what is in tomorrow." So he said, no, leave that and say what you've been saying before. Leave that and say what you've been saying before. That means everything you said before is okay, except for what you just said now, that there is amongst us a prophet who knows what is in tomorrow. That is only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If this person marries a virgin and he's already married to somebody else, then he would stay with the virgin 7 nights, and after that he would start dividing. So he's got a wife, and he's married to a virgin, not somebody who's married before. So before he gives the division between the two, he would stay 7 nights with the virgin, and then he would divide after that whatever he wants to do, 2 days here, 2 days here, 3 days here, 3 days here, 1 month here, 1 month. It's up to him, and up to how they together they will agree. But if he had married somebody who was already married, and the one who was married before, she was a virgin, then he would stay with the one who had been married before, he had got married to her, 3 nights. Then after that he would divide. And that's the sunnah. Person is supposed to be good in good conduct to his wives, and he should be easygoing, not focusing onto little things and make an escalation of that. So that girl, she's a young girl, and she hasn't got any experience in the marriage, so you should be as well careful in that. Prophet ﷺ, he said, the best of you for his family, and I'm the best for you to my family. So the best for you is the best to his wife, and I'm the best to my wife. Prophet of Allah said, the most perfected believers in their iman are the ones who have the better manners. And the best of you to their wives. Prophet ﷺ, he said, a believing male should not hate a believing female, and a wife and husband. If he had to hate something from her manners, then he would be pleased with another one. So you should not focus on something bad in her character, and then enlarge that and disregard all of those things which is good about her. The same thing with the wife to the husband. The same things with the friend to the friend. Friend to a friend, brother to a brother. Okay, you should not hate him. If you see something good from him in one bad thing on one side, well, don't ignore the good things in him. Prophet ﷺ, in the farewell sermon, which is the khutbah, called khutbah Hajjat al-Wada', in the farewell Hajj, he made a farewell sermon, khutbah, in Hajjat al-Wada'. In that khutbah he said, verily, وَاسْتَوْصُوا بِالنِّسَاءِ خَيْرًا. You got it there? Read that, please.
The Prophet ﷺ said, verily I advise you to treat women well. They are like prisoners under your authority. You have no rights over them other than that unless they come with a clear illicit act. If they do that, then avoid them in their beds and beat them in a non-violent manner. If they then obey you, do not seek any means of redress against them. Truly you have rights over your wives, and your wives have rights over you. As for your rights over your wives, they are that they do not allow anyone to come to your sitting that you dislike, and that they do not allow anyone into your houses that you dislike, and that their rights over you are that you treat them kindly with respect to their clothing and food.
Right. Now that microphone, please. Please. Take that one. I'm not explaining to you why, but I know why. Wait. What's that? Put it there, put it in the other thing. Where you got no stand? Put the stand, please.
Stay, Asif. Behind you, there's a
Yeah,
stand.
he's got a stand, he's got a stand.
Is it? That's fine.
Yeah, sure, he's got a stand. Right. By the way, this one is very sharp.
Not mine.
The sound is definitely very sharp. Right. Man supposed to be very fair and just between his wives in terms of food, in terms of their, as well, in residence, in terms of the clothes, in terms of as well how many nights he sleeps here and how much he sleep there. So if he has to love one another, one of them more than the other, that's his heart. But that love should not be shown into being biased with more clothes, more food, and more of that. But the heart, you have no control of it. And if you had been unjust between them, on the day of resurrection, people will recognize you. Even though you are in the people of Jannah, people will surely see you. And will come to on the day of resurrection, and one of your sides is tilted to one side. It's like a physical disability. So the people know that you had more than one wife, and you were not just between them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَمْ تَسْتَطِيعُوا أَن تَعْدِلُوا بَيْنَ النِّسَاءِ وَلَوْ حَرَصْتُمْ. And you will never be able to be just between the women, even if you are keen to do so. It's impossible. That's the heart. And the Prophet ﷺ used to be just between his wives, but yet he used to love Aisha the most. Amr al-As, he said, Prophet of Allah, he sent him on to lead an expedition. So I came to him, I said, who is the most beloved person to you, Messenger of Allah? I said, Aisha. Oh, men from the men, Messenger of Allah. I said, her father. And then who, Messenger of Allah? Then he said, Umar al-Khattab. Then he counted men after that. Coming to the following title, and that is,
How many women can a free man marry?
a free man can marry from the women who are free for. As for the what your hand possesses, there's no number. He doesn't have to marry them because they are his slaves. So Allah Azza wa Jalla said, فَانْكِحُوا مَا طَابَ لَكُم مِنَ النِّسَاءِ مَثْنَى وَثُلَاثَ وَرُبَاعَ. He started with the second. He said, marry as much as you want, as much as you like, from, and then he mentioned 2, 3, and what? 4. So Allah married them 4, this is for him. Because he had to marry more than 1 and more than 4 in order to convey his sunnah. So one woman will convey this and one woman will convey that. So it's only for the Prophet of Allah, so he had married more than 4. He married 11. And if you have the slaves, they don't count within the wives. Right. Qais ibn Harith, he said, I embraced Islam and I had 8 wives. So I came with the Prophet of Allah. So I mentioned that to him. He said, choose 4 of those 8 and divorce the rest. Now we come into a very important topic, and that is the ones who are, please.
Woman that one is prohibited to wed.
Can you recite for us the verse between 22 to 24 in Surah Nisa?
ولا تنكحوا ما نكاح.
Now can you just do that English bit, translation language, because I'm not going to be correcting your Quran now, and take a bit of time. Okay?
And marry not women whom your fathers married, except what has already passed. Indeed, it was shameful and most hateful and an evil way. Forbidden to you for marriage are your mothers, your daughters, your sisters, your father's sisters, your mother's sisters, your brother's daughters, your sister's daughters, your foster mother who gave you suck, your foster milk suckling sisters, your wives' mothers, your stepdaughters under your guardianship, born of your wives to whom you have gone in, but there is no sin on you if you have not gone in them to marry their daughters.
To the end of the verse, and we're going to be now detailing more to that verse and adding as well what the Sunnah had added. So let's go to the reason of, first of all, in terms of prohibition to marry. One, which we call it temporarily. Second one, perpetually. The first one, temporarily, that means a person is not allowed to marry any woman who is married to somebody else. But if that woman, her husband died, then he's allowed to marry her. A person is not allowed to marry 2 sisters together. One of them has been divorced or died, she married her sister. So that's called, what do you call it? We call it, that is tahrim mu'aqqat, prohibition for a time. It's not for perpetual. The perpetual one is the one that we're going to be now detailing, which is in the verse. This could be from one of the 3 reasons. Either lineage, or because of marriage, or because of suckling. One of the 3 reasons. You understand? So this perpetual prohibition on to marry somebody, either because of the lineage, she's your daughter, she's your mother, or because of the marriage, maybe she is the wife of your son. She becomes haram on you. She's in your, you call it daughter-in-law. Or because of the breastfeeding. So the mother had breastfeed somebody who's stranger, it becomes a brother or a sister to the ones who are her sons. So those are the 3 reasons that makes the prohibition. So let's talk about the first one, that is prohibition through lineage, through blood relationship. They are the following. The mothers. And by the way, we don't have more explanation about everything, so we need to more explanation for everything. So when we say the mothers, we're going to explain. Right. When we say the mothers, is every female that she had involved in giving birth to you. So in that comes the mothers of the mothers, and the mothers of the fathers, and the mothers of the fathers. She's got it involved in somehow of giving birth to you. Okay? So that's the mothers. And the second one, the daughters. The daughters, regardless how down they go, as long as she's a female, daughters, and you have got giving her birth. So it's the daughters of the daughters of the daughters of the daughters of the daughters, the daughter of the son, and downwards. So regardless, the daughter of the son, and downwards, or the daughter of the daughter and downwards. You understand? You got a book. Write that down. Write that down. Write it. Daughter of the daughters and downwards. Daughter of the son and downwards. The mother of the mother and upwards. Mother of the father and upwards. Then we come Ammat. Ammat means the paternal aunts. Paternal aunts is that every female who had some link to your father of the father, so. So she could be directly your aunt, the sister of your father, or your grandfather, great aunt, or the sister of great grandfather, regardless how far he goes. Do you understand what I'm saying? You follow me? Because some people, they haven't got that big family to understand what we're talking about. And also this auntie can come from the mother's side. We're talking about still paternal aunt. And that is, for example, she is the sister of the mother of your father. Again, she is the sister of the mother of your father. Who is she to your father? The sister of the mother of your father. So everyone's not following me. Huh? Who is she to your father? The sister of the mother of your father. What is the relationship between the sister of the mother of your father and your father? SubhanAllah. It looks like they don't have relatives, you know. I am talking in my sister. True, right? But for me, it's my paternal aunt because she comes from what? My father's side. Do you understand me? And regardless how it goes upwards. So again, write that down, ya habib. Wallah, what I'm going to say to you, cream of the crop. That is, sister of the father and upwards. So the sister of the father. Remember? Okay, clear, inshallah. Let's do the Maghrib, inshallah. And then after that, we'll continue.